Welcome back to the Reseller Journey podcast. And in this episode, we got Jake with J Ride Flips giving us some insights into his business on kind of what he's doing, and then also some like practical tips that we could use to help grow and scale our business. Welcome to the party, Jake. Good to have you. Second time on the podcast. I just want to get right into it. You
Yeah,
know,
sure.
like I'm hearing a lot of people, this is just on my end, people struggling to source product. I can't find enough inventory. I can't find enough good inventory. What do you
Yep.
think is like the biggest struggle right now for the common reseller?
Well, I want to talk about good problems. So let's say that you have a basketball team that has 6 players that are good enough to start, but you can only start 5. That's a good problem to have. I think not being able to find enough good inventory, if you are running your business properly, can be a good problem. I think a much worse problem is having too much poor inventory that isn't selling. But if you're focusing on items that are actually moving, actually people are searching for those items that actually have a demand, but you can't find enough of them to hit a goal or a target, that's a better problem to have than just having a ton and a ton of things in your store that just don't move. So yeah, sourcing definitely is an issue, but you can always just go and get, thousands and thousands of items that 6 of them sell every 90 days and there are 350 of them listed. It's not that, but that's not the business model that I would recommend.
So you're telling me better to list a lot less and those items are home runs than to just list because of listing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the theories on eBay is like, don't stop listing no matter what it takes. Keep listing, make the algorithm happy. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, is listing every day an absolute must? But what if like you can't find good inventory to list? It's kind of
Yeah.
like a balance, right?
So I think listing consistently and daily is very important for you as a business owner, but it is not super important for the algorithm whatsoever. And a lot of people will, find that controversial or whatever. I think it is extremely important to follow a routine and to be consistent because consistency is great for your marriage. Consistency is great in the stock market. Consistency is great in the gym. Consistency is great in your religion. Consistency is paramount in everything that we do. But I don't think consistency is nearly as important as we think that it is as an algorithmic standpoint. I think it's much more important to actually have things that people are searching for so the algorithm can. A lot of people think that the algorithm is eBay judging the seller, but all the algorithm is trying to get the buyer to buy as quickly and as many things as possible. So they're just going to show the buyer what the buyer wants to see. It doesn't matter if we're listing 27 items a day that people aren't searching for, but if we list 6 every 4 days and all 6 of those items are very searchable, then you're gonna see a lot more success listing 7 a week than listing, I don't know, 86 a week that people aren't searching for.
Right, right. Yeah, I've heard you say you just sell through rate. It really doesn't matter what it is. If it's got a good sell through rate, you're gonna pick it up, right?
Yep. Unless of
And that's
course it's like a, 4-wheeler. I'm not gonna sell that on. Not gonna sell
yeah,
that on. Too
yeah,
big.
part it out.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're doing it full time. You've been doing it for a while, a couple years now.
Yep.
Like for someone maybe wanting to get into selling full time on eBay specifically, what do you think is like the biggest benefit to selling full time on eBay?
The biggest benefit to selling on eBay, there is a lot of them. Um, I think it just teaches. There's 2 things that I think trying to corral my thoughts here. I think that selling door to door is one of the best things you can do to be a business owner and to understand sales. And then I think doing e-commerce is that second step to just really understand sales and business. So I totally recommend people going and knocking doors for 2 years. I'm mainly talking to younger people. When I was doing summer sales and knocking doors, there were 40 and 50-year-olds out there with us, but it's a lot more common for the younger crowd. You're kind of establishing yourself in sales and business, but I really recommend doing summer sales. You learn how to overcome objections, you learn how to be rejected, you learn how to actually present a product in a way that people are, persuaded to buy it. And then I think selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, selling on Facebook Marketplace, Shopify, just selling on the internet, it's just another part of the sales. So I
Mhm.
think that the greatest benefit of eBay is learning how to actually just be a better entrepreneur overall. You can make a ton of money from eBay itself, but it's also a launching pad to make even more money in the future.
Right, right. Yeah, there's so many other skills that come along with it than just picking up stuff to resell. I mean, you're not I mean, unless you have employees, but you're taking the
Yep.
photos, you're managing the inventory or customer service, so many things. Sales in general is one of those the best skill you can learn for business in general, you know, especially if you're looking to hire employees and train
Yep.
them too. So, where are you at in your reselling business? I know you're doing pretty good. Like, how's numbers looking? And then like, what are you working on now to try improve upon?
Yeah. So I recently fell below standard because of a ton of shipping issues that I'm still dealing with every single day, daily. Um, Man, yeah, it's rough. But so I've fallen below standard, so it's given me a second to really take a step back and see what's working, what isn't. What I've noticed, I'm going to be making videos on this. My numbers are down significantly, but what I've actually noticed is I'm still getting, honestly, the same amount of traffic and the same amount of sales, just minus the promoted listings. So typically I would sell on eBay. Before I went below standard, I was selling about 18 items per day, and like 7 of those were organic and 11 of those were promoted. Now I'm selling about 7 or 8 items per day. It's just all organic. So my views are down like 36%, but my click through rate is up 0.5%, and my sales conversion rate is up 0.2%. So getting significantly less views from the promoted listings being in below standard because you can't promote when you're below standard. But I'm getting the same amount of organic sales because I'm actually getting items that people are searching for and that eBay is recommending that people would actually buy.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Like, you're really diligent in looking up the sell-through rate. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
eBay can't stop you from selling if you're
Yeah.
just really picking up stuff that's 100, 200% sell-through rate. It's like
Yep.
the demand's there, they're going to make money off of it too. Um well, good. I mean, is there any strategies that you're looking to implement to get back above standard? I know I watched your video,
Yeah.
and that was kind of out of your hands with what happened. But like, are you just trying to sell as much as you can uh, to get back above standard or
Yeah,
top rated?
I take the stance that it was my fault that I fell below standard.
Okay.
There were things out of my control, but I could have made them slightly more controllable. Um, so finally, my wife and I, we just built this house, and when we moved in, it didn't have USPS or UPS pickup. So I had to go to the USPS and drop off my packages. As far as like delivering and scans and things like that, I haven't had an issue with my local UPS, which is awesome. But USPS has been awful. So what I learned is that actually, when I drop my packages off, and man, I want to try to condense this a little bit, but
Mhm.
right now, St. George, Utah, where I live, is the second fastest growing metropolis area in the United States.
Mhm.
So we are everything is super like, so I grew up in a town, but now I would say I live in a city. So I would go to Walmart and I could park my car like 3 rows away from the doors. Now I'm parked about 19 rows away. If I went into the post office, I was maybe the second or third person in line. Now I'm like the 48th, sometimes like the 25th in line. So our population is expanding, but our infrastructure hasn't caught up yet. And so everything is just super like, and now we have the Ironman, the world championship Ironman today, tomorrow actually. So yeah, it's even worse. But anyway, getting to my point. I learned that when I drop my packages off at USPS, they immediately ship them to Las Vegas on a truck with no scans. So they don't get scanned until they make it to Las Vegas
Mhm.
or Salt Lake, depending on what direction they're going. And
Mhm.
so when I get out of below standard, I'm still probably just going to be above standard because I have late scan. My late scan is 3.5 and it has to be below 3%.
Right.
So I kind of forgot what the question is, but
Oh, just what are you trying to do to get back above standard?
oh,
Like, are you trying to like sell more items for less profit? Because
mm,
I think you have to try to sell as many as you can to kind of
yeah,
break out of that. Is that right?
yeah. So I'm just writing it out. I'm
Hmm.
just gonna let it happen. So
Hmm.
what's really cool about reselling, and this is another thing that is really driven home on YouTube, and there's this side and this side, and that is sticking to one platform. Um, I'm doing great. My income has not gone down at all since I went below standard on eBay because I have Mercari, Poshmark, and Amazon. So my sales are still. Um, I mean, I guess they're probably down like 6%, maybe 4 to 6%. We'll say 5%. But my sales in Mercari are flowing every single day. Poshmark, they're flowing every single day, and it's giving me more time to focus on Amazon, which is higher revenue, lower profit, and we can talk a little bit about that later. But I'm in no rush to actually get my store back to. I'm not going. I'm just going to let it organically happen because it was literally just that 2 weeks of shipping issues that got me below. There's nothing else outside of those issues that would keep me from getting back to it. So I'll just get back there in 60 days or 90 days. I might actually get there in 60. I did the math, and I think
Hmm.
I'm going to be 0.28 instead of zero point 0.3 in
Hmm.
60 days. So I think I'll be back in 60, not 90.
Nice, nice. That's good, and it's important to have other sources of income. Just like
Yeah.
if you're all your eggs are in one basket, and this is like, oh, and if something happens like that, it's a lot more stressful. So it's good. Um, so I get this a lot.
Uh-huh.
Hey, this category is saturated. I don't want to sell in it. What do I do? Everything's saturated. I shouldn't sell on eBay. What would you say to someone that says, this category is saturated? Should they even try to sell in that category, or is that just like a mindset thing?
Oh man, you're just asking me all the questions that are gonna get me in trouble with a certain demographic of our YouTube audience.
Oh,
Nothing is
sorry.
saturated. Not so. This is a lie that rich people tell you to keep you from getting into their territory, and then it's a lie that lazy people tell themselves so that they can never get there. This is across every single industry and every single side hustle, every single job. Everything that can make you above average income and up is always oversaturated. Um, so everything that I've done, summer sales, everyone's like, "Oh, dude, why are you going out another year? It's so saturated. Everyone in Utah is doing summer sales. You're not going to make any money." I made a ton of money. Why are you selling on eBay? Like it's the pandemic. Everyone's selling on eBay. You're going to make no money. Make a ton of money. Oh, now that people aren't buying as much on eBay, like it's way too oversaturated. Still making great money. Now, when it comes to individual categories, this is where sell-through rate comes in. And I know that people are probably sick of me talking about sell-through rate, but in every single category and every single brand, 1 to 5% of the items sell in 1% of them sell the day you list it. And then 5% sell within the month you list it, and then an extra 3% sell within 90 days. So it's our job to find those 8% of items. And then you can go outside of that too and find maybe 10% of items. So there's no such like, so today I found a Tommy Bahama shirt. Everyone knows that Tommy Bahama has, according to my 90-day calculation, it has like a 20% sell-through rate, maybe 30, but not the coconut point one. So I found a Tommy Bahama the coconut point, and that has a 200% sell-through rate. So is Tommy Bahama saturated? No, you just have to find that 1 to 5% of Tommy Bahama is. Are
Yep.
cassettes saturated? Yeah, there are. I think if we search cassettes on eBay, I think it's going to be over 1 million. Let's see.
Yeah.
Cassette. There is 900,000. That's saturated, right? But if you find Tupac, it's not saturated. If you
Mhm.
if you find, and
Taylor
it's just
Swift.
this. It's just about finding that 1 to 5%,
Okay.
and you'll never struggle with saturation ever.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a mindset thing. And, they say clothing is saturated, but you got to
Mhm.
find the right clothing. Just like you
Yeah.
said, the Tommy Bahama. It's like Tommy Bahama. Yeah. Size small, no one's going to buy that. But if it's like an island zone, different size it's just different, and you get better as you go on. But yeah,
And
you're right there. Um,
and what's important is adapting along with that, because Peter Millar was not saturated 3 years ago. Like every single Peter Millar shirt, if it's under $5, buy it, because even if there's nothing nice about it, it'll still sell for $18 in under 6 months. Then it got saturated, but Summer Comfort Peter Millar was still selling great. So don't even look up prices. If it says Summer Comfort on it, just buy it. It'll sell for $24 in under 6 months. Now
mhm,
Summer Comfort has less than a 30% sell through. Peter Millar Summer Comfort isn't a buy for me anymore. But it
mhm,
was, I don't know, 8 months ago. But
mhm.
it's not today. So you have to keep actually understanding what is moving and what actually is getting saturated. So I guess it's fluid, because yes, things do get saturated, but you don't have there's no such thing as a saturated category. There's just saturated subset of items that you just avoid and get the good ones.
Right, and especially with seasonality and a lot of these items we
Hmm.
sell too, that's why, like, the importance of learning, right? Constantly listening, learning, checking sell-through rate, sourcing, and the seasons come and go. Just like with Madewell jeans, I
Hmm.
don't even pick those up anymore. 3 years ago, everyone was picking up because the sell-through rate was that much better. So it's just like the importance of constantly learning, looking up items, because what may sold great 6 months ago may sell half as well today. And as a business owner, you gotta stay on top of it. You
And then it
really do.
might ramp back up 6 years
Yep.
from now. And so you
Yeah.
got you just got to keep looking everything up as you go.
Yeah. If you wanna hold a Tommy Bahama for 6 years, you guys can do that. You can run your business how you want, and, I mean, we're all reselling, right? It's just some people have a different time frame. I have stuff in my store for 3 years. Do I want that? No. I just need to get better.
Yeah.
Um, so now just like dipping into content, you've
Yeah.
been making, yeah, I don't know if it's been in quite a year, maybe a year, maybe a
Hmm.
little over a year you've been on YouTube now. And um has
Let's see
that
here.
helped or hurt your business, do you think? Cuz you do a lot of shorts and there's a lot of people that are waiting in line with you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think on the other end people are watching your content, they're trying to figure out where you're going? I know that's maybe more of a mindset thing, but do you think
Hmm.
that that's hurt your business as far as a reseller, or
No. This is where people get really annoyed with content creators. Today I was at a yard sale, and the lady said, "Oh my gosh, hey Jake." I'm like, "Oh hi, do you know me from YouTube?" Or yeah. So I bought a few things from the yard sale, and then she's like, "I sell on eBay, but a lot of my stuff isn't moving. So do you just want to take a look at my eBay room and just tell me whatever you want? I'll do a good price for you." That happened today, so I went in and I bought a ton of stuff. I just did a Facebook reel 2 days ago where I found this like Swiss cookie pizzelle maker. One of them sold for $200, and none others are listed. And so I talked about that in my video. I put it up. I put that video up, and then a lady contacted me this morning, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'd love to buy that." I'm like, "Okay, sweet." And she's like, "What platform is it on?" It's like, "Oh, it's in my draft bank. It's going to go live on eBay in 2 days for $300. What's your offer?" And then she said, "Oh, I'll give you 250 plus shipping." I'm like, "Okay, sweet. Venmo me $265." So it's like, you know, also like there isn't a way to say this without me sounding arrogant. I promise, like I'm truly blessed and humbled to be here, and I don't like this is just it's just awesome. But people in my area kind of look at me as like a small time celebrity. And I hate saying that. I absolutely hate saying that. But some people will even come up to me and be like, "Hey Jake, did you see this? Do you want it?" And be like, this sells for like $80. Yeah, you can have it. I'm like, okay. Like, you know.
yeah.
But even if it wasn't for all of those annoying perks that content creators get, I still think that YouTube, it just, what happens is when you make content, you have a few original ideas that do really well, and then you want to branch out and you start looking at your competitors and see, not your like, I don't consider like Tech and Sports or Commonwealth Picker, or like, I don't consider those guys my competitors. I just consider them like, I don't even know what I consider them, but like,
Cohort.
yeah, like you can draw inspiration from like their
Mhm.
videos and what they're talking about and stuff, and then it's like, oh, I guess a few of these things that I didn't think sell actually do sell, and so it just expands my knowledge on more and more things to pick up. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think content has affected my business in a negative way at all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just the things that happen on the back end, like we don't know that you do a private sale through a Facebook reel, and
Uh-huh.
there's things that are happening on your end where we have no idea from the consumer point of view. I get comments all the time on the shorts like, "Don't be telling people what to buy," and
Yeah.
it's like, man, especially in clothing, there's a lot of clothing that gets thrown away
Oh yeah.
every day in America. There's no way that we're able to go through it, like they said, "I am the cause of Goodwill's prices going up. Me.
Uh-huh.
I am." And
Yep.
I go, "Dang, I must be a market maker." I'm sorry. I buy 100 items a week, and that's tilting the market, I guess. So that's interesting. But that is a good point of view. Just so, do you think people should get into content if they think like, "Hey, will this hurt me in the long run?" What is your thoughts? Like, should people be making content?
Yeah, so that's a really hard question to answer with just like a blanket for everyone,
Mhm.
because I don't know. Um, it's just hard. So the reality of content creation is really a lot of people don't succeed in it. And so some people want to build a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel or a TikTok channel to make money through AdSense and also to sell to their audience. And
Mhm.
I know I sold a really expensive item to my audience this morning, but that happens like maybe twice a month, and I'm averaging across Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, I'm averaging like 7 million views a month. So out of 7 million views, I get like 2 sales a month. So like that's not an actual business plan, you know. The
Mhm.
content's
Yeah.
nice to make money off of the ads,
Right.
but and like some people are better at selling to their audience. I'm not very good at it, but I don't really buy like audience items, you know. I'm not buying plush and collectibles and things like that too often.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if people want to get into content, there's a couple things that I would say. First of all, you need to do it for one of two reasons: to make money, or just because you're passionate about it. Because if you do it to make money, you're going to learn very quickly that you have the personality for it, and you'll start making money very quickly, or you will not make a penny for months and months and years. And if you're
Mhm.
passionate about it, that's okay. But if you want to make money from it, that you may need to exit, you know. And no one wants to hear that. But I was saying this on my podcast the other day. One day I realized I thought I was going to go to the NBA. Like, when I was in fourth grade, I would play me against my whole class in basketball and I'd beat them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the NBA. Then I made it to eighth grade. And I'm like, oh man, I'm only like the third best player on my team. And then I made it to high school. And I'm like, oh man, I'm coming off the bench and none of us are getting D1 offers. None of, you know? And then I'm like, oh, I'll never be able to jump as high as John Morant. I will never have hands as big as Magic Johnson. Like, I can't do basketball. It's just not for me. I can practice every single hour of the day for 7 years, and D3 basketball players will still wipe the floor with me. There's just nothing I can do about it. And that's fine. It's not in the cards for me. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little longer winded with my responses
No,
today,
that's
but
good. No, it's good. I mean, you're painting a good picture. So basically, content's tough, and if you're
yeah.
gonna do it, you need to really have a vision for it,
And
and don't just make it to make it. Like,
and I,
know
I
why.
hate I hate saying that because it makes me seem like, I think that I'm amazing and I'm so good at content because I made the money, but like that's not it's not what I mean. Like I just I can't be an NBA player. Like I can't I tried being a mechanic in ninth grade and I just hated it. So I was, it just wasn't for me,
Mhm. I think, like, the point of view, if you have some knowledge in something, and it could just be a little bit of knowledge, like
Mm-hmm.
one step ahead of a beginner, and
Yep.
you want to tell or teach someone about that, do it, and you don't
100%.
need to be like, I think a lot of people think I need to be an expert. I have to go to school for this. I have to do it
Mhm.
for 20 years or else no one will care. It's no, because beginners in anything are the largest audience,
Yep.
beginner, how to repair your toilet, how to wash dishes, how to cook a hamburger. That content gets the most views because it has the most beginner audience, right?
Yep.
Um, so like the more complex something is, it's going to be more niche down.
If you guys
Um,
want to be a content creator and you don't care about what the content is, how to draw is the easiest content to grow in if you are good at it. How to draw is typed into YouTube and Google like 48,000 times every minute. So
and I can't. So
there
that's not
you
for me.
go.
So I guess I want to get into more of like your work week, your scheduling. I know you are making a lot of content, but like how
Yep.
many hours a week do you think you're putting into reselling? Like you're outsourcing, like how many times do you think in a week?
Every day but
Typical
Sunday.
40. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So if we can talk a little bit about scalability. So I want to resell for the rest of my life, but I'm not going to make the majority of my money through reselling. I think even in I don't know. I don't even think in 2027 I'll be making the majority of my money through reselling because this reselling is just an amazing stepping stone for me and it doesn't have you don't have to make $1 million a year. You don't have to do that. Uh, and a lot of people are really comfortable making an extra $30,000 a year reselling, and that's awesome. So like this, what I'm about to say, like isn't for everyone, but what I'm 6 months from now, I'm only going to be sourcing and creating content for my reselling business. Everything else will just be employees. And you don't have to get there. I'm not advising that everyone does that. But what makes me the most money is buying items that sell and recording myself doing so. So when you start a business, if you want to scale it, what you do is you do everything until you make a comfortable amount of money. You analyze what you suck at or what you're good at but doesn't make you very much money, and then you delegate that to someone else. And then I make a lot of money from listing and selling items, but I make more money from actually getting more quality inventory. So I can just have an employee do all the listings for me, all the customer service for me, all the shipping for me. And instead of me doing 60 hours a week doing everything to make $25,000 in revenue, I can do 60 hours of sourcing and content and make $250,000 a month in revenue, and then hire someone for even $10,000 a month at that point. And I'm not saying that I make $250,000 a month in revenue from content sourcing. I'm not there yet, but that is what I can do doing those two things. But I can never make $250,000 a month revenue listing items. I just can't do that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
my path is sourcing.
Mhm.
I want to source 50 hours a week.
Yeah. It's like the principle of buying back your time, right? And
Yeah.
you said this, I think, on one of your lives, and it's totally what I've had in my heart, in belief since doing eBay full time, is that if you're making $2,000 an hour and you
Mm-hmm.
need to stop to go mow the lawn or change your tires, you're stopping that $2,000 an hour income to go do something where you could pay someone $200 an hour to do.
Yep.
So you're not saving $200, you're losing 1,800.
1,800. And it, dude,
You're
even understanding that, it still hurts, because it's still
yeah,
like, no, dude, I'm a man. I'm gonna mow my own lawn. Like
yeah,
it's a good principle to do that work. But it's like if you're making that much money, you're literally losing money. And you can still mow your lawn. It's still a good like work life balance, and it can be. But like if it really is impeding you from getting another video up that will make you a ton of money, or being able to travel to a different state because you don't have the best sourcing opportunities immediately where you are, you got to outsource it so you can get out there.
Right. And figuring out how much money you make per hour is a key. I
Yeah.
mean, you really got to understand that as soon as possible, because if you're wasting your time on $4 an hour activities,
Mhm.
it's going to be really tough for you to scale this thing.
Yeah.
So,
And I
I guess,
don't make $2,000 per hour, by the way. I
yeah,
don't.
it's just an example, but no, and you mentioned Amazon. I do want to get into
Yeah.
that. How long have you been looking into that, and where are you at right now with Amazon? What are you
So
selling?
I am 28, and I've been selling on Amazon. I mean, I've been selling on eBay for just over 2 years now. When I was 23, I was a pretty, what I thought was big at the time, Amazon seller. I was doing like $15,000 a month revenue when I was like 23 with my own product. I got blue light blocking glasses. I put Ride on the side of them, and then I sold those on Amazon and Shopify. And on Amazon alone, I was doing 15K, and it was awesome. I was getting these glasses from China,
Mm.
putting my own brand on it, and then selling them. I was getting them for like 87 cents each, and then selling them for $18.99 free shipping. So I was making, nine to $11 each, and I was going really well. And then I decided to go a different path of actually knocking doors and convincing people to sign up for pest control. Made a good amount of money from that, and then I came back to e-commerce through eBay. Now I've been doing Amazon for the last. I started in November of last year, and I've just kept that really quiet because I'm not. I'm not like the best eBay seller in the world, but I feel like I have enough authority to talk about it. But I haven't talked about Amazon because I haven't made enough money to where I would consider having authority to speak on the subject. Now I'm getting to that point. I've had 3 $1,000 days on Amazon, which is awesome. So I may start making some Amazon content soon.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what kind of content I make around Amazon. I still might not make any content around it, but I'm selling. I'm selling a lot of. I'm selling a lot of beauty, makeup, skincare, things like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, we're all entrepreneurs, business owners, resellers in different platforms. I just think Amazon's another business model that people could look into. It's something
Yes.
I've been looking into. But yeah, as far as like talking about it on the channel, I'm just looking into it. And you're right. Once you gain like to get the authority, you got to be doing it on an actual bigger level.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, yeah, making $50 a day on Amazon. It's like,
Mhm.
get that proof of concept out there first. So, but yeah, that's cool. There's more than just eBay out there.
Mhm.
So I guess just since this is more of a beginner reseller question, like
Yeah.
if someone's like looking from the outside in and they want to start and they were like, okay, I want to quit my 9 to 5. I
Yep.
want to now be an entrepreneur. What's the main thing a new reseller should focus on before they make that jump? Like, should they know what to sell? Should they do?
Mhm. Okay. What I'm about to say is going to irritate some people, and that's okay. But I really want you guys. Okay, I talk about finding the 1 to 5% of items that actually sell. I want you guys to be the 1 to 5% people. Like, be the top 5% people in the world. Be the top 5% entrepreneurs in the world. The top 5% entrepreneurs, they don't see excuses. They see the problems. They're aware of the problems, but they're not excuses. They're just a problem that can be solved. And you just solve the problem. Okay. What I would do if I had never sold on eBay before, but I was watching a ton of YouTube videos and I was getting excited, but I had a 9 to 5, is I would only pick up items that have faster than a 100% sell through rate. That's it. Only pick up those. If you find 1 on Monday and 0 on Tuesday and 0 on Wednesday and 3 on Thursday, that's fine. Only list those items and then build up your bank account. You're not going to be able to build your store because your items are selling so fast and you can't find enough of them that you're not going to get to 100 and then 200 and 300. I have a lot of people, and I don't have a Facebook group that's monetized. I mean, it's monetized for content, but like I don't have paid groups. I don't do courses, none of that. But a lot of people post within my Facebook page their numbers, and they have like 68 listed and 490 sold. Like that's possible. But a lot of people will say, I can't find that in my area, or my thrift stores suck, or, and it's like I just spent $1,800 today on eBay on Oakley's and Ray-Bans, and like it's out there. So what I would do is I would fight the urge of saying my area sucks or my items suck or I can't find those items that Jake is talking about. They don't exist. They're unicorns. I promise you, when you start looking for yellow cars, you will find yellow cars. I would only buy items that have over 100% sell-through rate until I have made enough money that I can scale back my other business or my other work. And then I would start picking up items that have a 75% sell-through rate. And then I would even, like when I say focus on high sell-through rate, I still pick up items that have 50 and 60% sell-through rate that take like 4 to 6 months to sell. Mm-hmm. But those have to be like, you have to really be disciplined and not just only pick those up or pick up items that have a 30% sell-through rate.
Right.
I would just focus on extremely fast sell-through rate items and then scale from there.
So building that muscle up, what do you think that is? Like just looking up every single thing before you figure out, what you want to sell, or?
Yep. So again, not trying to talk about myself here. If you want to learn really fast sell-through rate items, type in J Ride Flips what sold and type in Osborne Thrift what sold onto YouTube. And just watch 35 hours of that and then go find those items. Yeah. I find them in Utah. He finds them in Idaho. I know a ton of people that find them in Kansas City and in Florida and in Minneapolis. Just look for all those items. They are out there. They're harder to find for a reason because people want them. And so they buy them the second that they see them.
I thought it was because content creators.
Yeah. It's all the dang content creators. No, as especially in short form, as you grow. Bo's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo has left the building. He's gone. It's still showing that we are live. I'm not even there. He is.
Yeah, it could have been my internet. I don't know. But yeah, so researching what other people are selling first before you jump and just start buying stuff blindly. Figure out what other people are doing that are successful, and then go pick up those items. There's plenty of these
people. Yeah, copy people. But like really, that is entrepreneurship. Like a lot of my friends my age, they have this stigma in their head where it's like if you want to make money, you have to be super creative, and you have to like come up with something that no one ever has before. And I'm like, no, dude. Go knock doors and mow people's lawns, and you can make $100,000 in 100 days. Like you really can, So it's like you want to have your own twist, but like, if you, especially when it comes to content, like there's no such thing as a truly true. What's the word I'm looking for? Idea that's your own. There's a word I'm looking for, but
right. Yeah. I mean, that's what they say for Amazon in general, to go storefront stock other successful Amazon sellers and buy the same products that they're buying. That's it. So, yeah, you don't need an original idea. If one comes up, great, but that doesn't mean that you're going to make money from it. Like you got to go where other people are.
A lot of people know me on YouTube as like the sell-through rate guy. That's not my own thought. Like that, I didn't come up with that. That's just what I've learned from my experience, but way more than that, learning from other people that are smarter and better than me, and I just talk about it more often. Yeah, I didn't come up with sell-through rate.
Well, it's an important thing to talk about too, because you could
Yes.
watch the best what sold, the best thrift hauls, and if they're not like talking, hey, this sold in 3 months or this took 8 years to sell,
Mhm.
that's probably not going to get a lot of clicks. Like, hey, hang on to this thing for 8 years and you might make $10. Sell through rate is probably one of the most important things. Same with Amazon. You're looking at the BSR,
Yeah.
the amount, the top rated slot, the best sales rating for that product.
Yep.
Um, Otherwise, if you're not buying those products, they may take forever to sell on Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
Because I know there's some Amazon sellers in here. I know we're mostly eBay, but like you can find things that have a awesome profit margin, but again on Amazon it doesn't sell. And like I don't know why so many people hate me for sell through rate, and I don't mind that people do it. It's cool. Like you gotta, but people like there's a demographic of people here on YouTube. There may be a few of them in the chat right now that just like hate me because I talk about sell through rate. And I don't understand because on Amazon, like that is the only thing they talk about. It's like, hey, don't pick things up unless they're under 100K BSMR. And it's like
yep,
because you can have something that has a $68 profit, but if only 7 of those are selling on Amazon a month, you will never sell that. You will
and
never sell.
Amazon's on the listing, so you're
Yeah.
competing with them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like like if you dive into the world of Amazon, you can only pick up things that have a fast sell through rate. You can
Right.
only do that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you watch just a lot of people that do it full time, they have their phone, they're scanning every single
Mhm.
product. So if you apply that to eBay, you're looking up every single product. You just have to do a little more manually, like looking
Yeah,
up sell through rate. Um, Same applies. So do you think eBay is still one of the best platforms to
for
sell
sure.
on? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, Amazon is. I mean, eBay is the best. I don't advise people to actually sell on Amazon just because of the hurdles that are placed before it. So if I want to sell this mouse on eBay, I can do that today. I cannot do that on Amazon, and I may never be able to do that on Amazon because of what's called ungating. So like, there's some product. It's the worst when you watch this video of someone at Walgreens buy $1,800 worth of items. It's going to make them $4,500, and you go do the same thing, and you get home and you realize you don't have you can't sell those items. You can't even put them on Amazon's website because it's gated. And
Right.
so what you have to do is you have to buy a certain amount of product from a supplier and get actual credible information that you could submit to Amazon. And then Amazon still will say, "Oh, you're too new. Go sell some stuff that's in an ungated category first. Try to get like so I'm trying to get ungated on DVDs and Blu-rays. And from what I've gathered, you have to have like 250K months in a row just to even be considered to sell DVDs. It's just really tough on Amazon. But if I find a sealed Blu-ray at a yard sale, I can list it that day on eBay, and maybe I'll make, depending on the Blu-ray, I'll make like $4 less, but I can actually sell it.
Yeah,
So,
less barrier to entry to get going on eBay. And like you said previously, is like eBay is just an awesome stepping stone to maybe something that you actually want to do. Maybe
yeah.
you want to write music. Like, what are the other things that you want to do in life that could be entrepreneurial? eBay is that stepping stone. And thank God I
Yeah.
found it, because there's other things that I want to do. If I'm still reselling full time as my main source of income in 5 to 10 years, I think that I did myself a disservice, because there's more in me than just reselling.
Mhm.
Reselling is great, but maybe it's just a stepping stone to the thing you actually want to do in life.
Yeah.
Um,
And just know that if you do progress in life, people will say, "Oh, Bo is a terrible reseller. He couldn't make enough money as a reseller, so he had to go do something else."
yeah,
That mindset is mind-boggling to
yeah.
me.
Back to Taco Bell. I think like one of the things that I get common messages about is sourcing. So
Yeah.
do you think, like, I mean, you're going out a lot and maybe that's for content as well.
Hmm.
Do you think it's basically just a numbers game? Like, I need to hit 5 to 10 thrift stores a day now? Like, what is that solution to that problem of not finding enough items or good items?
Yeah.
Just
So like I said, St. George is growing in population, but we are growing in infrastructure a little bit, but not really. So I have one big box thrift store, and then 3 really small ones. So I can't just really drive more. And that's the tip that I give to a lot of people, because some people live in Miami and they can go to 73 thrift stores in a 40-mile radius, or they live in Dallas, or they live, But I don't have that option. What I have to do is drive to Las Vegas or Salt Lake City, which is what I could do. But if you're in a situation like me, or you're in a situation like worse than me, because there's a lot of people that live in towns that have 4,500 people and they have like one thrift store. You can still make just as much money as someone else. It's just a much different path. So again, this is another, this side over here, this side over here. I don't think you should niche down. I think that you should, if you're in a situation, if you live in a civilization that has more than 1,000 people within 100 miles, 1 million people in 100 miles,
Yeah.
then yeah, you can niche down. You can find enough stuff for sure. But if you're in a situation where, and a lot of people that are resellers live in middle America, they live in a small town, live in things like that, I would sell in as many categories as possible and just find the 1 to 5% in each category. Data refinement talked about this a lot early, where he said, and he's the counter argument to what I'm talking about. He thought the best strategy was trying to squeeze as many profitable items from 1 or 2 thrift stores, and then he realized, oh, I live in San Jose, I can just go to 47 thrift stores. But I'm the opposite of that. I do think the best strategy is to just get as many profitable items as you can from each thrift store that you have available to. Add on online sourcing, add on retail arbitrage, add on these things, because it's really hard. But I made a ton of money today buying things on eBay that I'm going to
Yep.
sell back on eBay.
Yeah. Just touch on that briefly. You said you bought $1,800 worth of glasses on eBay,
Yeah.
underpriced or bulk lots.
Yeah, bulk lots. So I see, so every day, I wonder if you guys will be able to see this. So when I search on eBay, I have makeup lot, remote control lot, digital cameras lot,
Yep.
sunglasses lot. I'll go
Safe
into digital cameras. There's 28 new listings. I'll scroll through, and then I'll be like, oh, this one's worth bidding on. So I'll heart it, watch for later. And then right before it ends, I will put what I'm willing to pay for it. So if I see that there's like 13 cameras in there that I want, and I'm willing to pay $8 per camera, 8 times 13, last 5 seconds, shoot that out. If someone was willing to pay more, they got it. It's whatever. You just keep doing that. And so that's what I do, and I'm able to get a ton of inventory through that. If I only sold on eBay, then I would make much more money on eBay, and I would have much more listings on eBay. But I sell on Mercari and Poshmark and Amazon, and I have wholesale deals, and I have a lot of things coming in and out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, especially with clothing, a lot of misspelled words, a lot of things people don't know the value of, and they just throw them up. Save those searches and get the notification. It's a good way to go. Now I want to talk about eBay conspiracies. What are some ones that you agree or disagree with? Is there one that you're like, this is just, is there anything that comes to mind?
So my wife sometimes says that I'm annoying because I just bring everything back to the psychology of humans. And just like the patterns that we're still the same people that were under Caesar's rule. We were the same people that conquered the world with Alexander the Great. We just have more technology and we have more advancements, and we think that changes our psychology and our personalities and the way we view the world, but it doesn't. It's weird that it doesn't. But anyway, so the psychology behind conspiracy theories is that people, and again, you're just getting me in trouble here, Bo. People want to be a victim, and they want to have an excuse of why they didn't exceed or didn't hit the goal that they set for themselves. People would rather have an excuse than actually make more money. Where it's like, hey, if you just change your mindset and then just say everything is my fault no matter what, and I'm just going to go get what's mine, you will make more money. But if you can blame eBay, or if you can blame your area, or if you can blame your competition, or if you can blame a website, or if you can blame all these other external factors, then you have something to make yourself feel okay when you only make $1,200 this week instead of 25. And so, yes, there's truth to a portion of conspiracy theories, and there's usually at least one little silver lining truth to every conspiracy theory. But conspiracy theories is just an excuse to be a grumpy old man and make less money. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's get some unsubs. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, unsub if you don't agree. Yeah, no, I feel like it's a mindset thing too, just like the saturation thing. It's like it's a reason and excuse for not doing something.
Yeah.
Just like
But yeah,
listing every
no,
day.
listen, every once in a while on eBay's website, it will say it's not you, it's us. Okay. The website is not perfect. It's far from it. There are glitches, there are things that hold you back. But if we sell less, eBay makes less. And if eBay makes less, investors invest less. And if investors invest less, eBay goes out of business.
Right.
They will never intentionally throttle your sales for no reason. They will throttle your sales if you are a crappy reseller, and if you have terrible feedback, and you have late shipments or non-shipments, or items not as, or you actually like scam people. Like, they will throttle your traffic for their benefit. But if what you are doing is beneficial to eBay, you will never get throttled traffic. Because, and so, okay, here's the conspiracy theory that I see a lot of truth in, that eBay has placed upon individual sellers parameters so they don't look over their skis, right? So when you go snowboarding or skiing for the first time, you can't just go down the hill at 45 miles an hour. Maybe there's some prodigies that can, but you can't. You have to learn pizza. You have to learn how to stop. You have to learn how to go, and you don't even have the confidence to try to go 10 miles per hour. Okay. And I think that eBay, much like a credit score, says, hey, listen, you have shown us, let's say you have 5,000 items in your store, and you have consistently showed us that you can ship out 25 items per day. I don't think eBay is one day just going to give you enough traffic to where you get 500 sales, because things would break. You would have late shipments. People would have bad buyers experiences, and so for those reasons, eBay throttles your traffic a little bit, so that way you're not overselling. And they also want you to build an eBay credit score. I may make a video called the eBay credit score now I'm thinking about it. When you get your first credit card, they give you $700, and they say, okay, make your payments on time. Don't make any late payments. Oh, sweet. You've done great for 6 months. Now you have a $1,500 limit. Now you have an $8,000 limit. Now you have a $20,000 limit. Same with eBay. Hey, here's 100 listings. Here's 100 sales. Oh, you did great on them. Okay, you only had 2 negative feedbacks. You had 4 returns that were outside of your control. No, that's great. No worries. Here you go. Here's some more listings, some more traffic. So I do believe that they do make sure that you don't look over your skis before you're ready. But no one knows where those barriers are, because I've seen people that have huge increases in sales, while other people think like, oh, I cannot get past this certain point. I don't know what it is. I don't know where the line is, but it is there somewhere.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I mean, come on, like if you can't do 10 items a day and one item gets shipped to the wrong address, broken, and then you list 500 items the next day, do you think you're going to make 500 sales? They're going to it'll break you. It'll be too hard, and then it's not the seller's fault. People are blaming eBay. It's
I
eBay, and then they're
Yeah.
gone.
I want to put this to the test. I am getting about 500 AirPods next week sometime.
Mhm. Nice.
I'm gonna list all 500 in one day, because what I do is I drip them. When I get 500, I list like 40 a week, and I usually sell. They usually have like a 5-day sell through rate. So if they're on eBay for 5 days, they get sold before they get to the 6th day. But I wonder if I listed all 500 of them at the same time, would I have 500 sales in 6 days, or would I have 500 sales in 27 or 39 or 80 days? And
Right,
I
that
have to
would be a
try
good
to.
one. Good one to document. And I guess just going off of that, you recently did a video or a live on eBay's quarterly report. What
Yeah,
did you see in that? Is it things looking good for eBay? What's been happening
I think
on
so.
the back end? Okay.
Yeah, again, back to the psychology of humans. If especially there's a lot of people that just don't understand the stock market and don't understand finance, which is okay. Like there's, but like people will see, oh my gosh, eBay is down 6% today, and they think like it's the end of the world. When that's like actually like that's a little concerning, but it's
Mhm.
like a pretty normal move.
Mhm.
Um, Apple was up 14% today. Starbucks was down 17% yesterday. Like those are like huge outliers. But like people or people will see like, oh, eBay estimated that they would make $2.78 billion, but they only made 2.71. And it's like, well, they projected growth and they didn't quite hit it, but they still made $3 billion.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that is not like warning signs, like everything's
Mhm.
fine. So
Mhm.
eBay, I think they did a good job of setting clear expectations. The call basically they said quarter one, historically, we make more money, but we also have more expenses. Quarter two, we typically make less money, but we have less expenses. So our flat line profitability is relatively the same each year in quarter one and quarter two because of those factors. We make more, but we spend more. We make less, but we spend less. They said guiding forward for this second quarter, they actually are predicting that that is going to be a little worse. So
Hmm.
they're going to make a little, they're predicting that they're going to make even less money in quarter two because sales will be a bit, that they're predicting less revenue. And they're also predicting higher expenditure because they're putting a lot of money into reusable fashion, like a ton of money.
Mhm.
They didn't. eBay is usually very forthright. They're like, okay, we're going to spend $860 million over the next 38 days in this, and they were very vague with how much money they're putting into AI and into this reusable fashion. So I
Yeah.
think they're putting a lot of money into it. So they did say they said expect a bumpier quarter two, but not a flash crash or anything like that. So on a macro, I think all of us sellers might go down 2% or 3% this quarter if we continue to do everything correctly, which is
Yeah.
nothing.
Well, God love them. I hear that eBay Motors commercial every day.
They
So
they
they're really
they reported that those sales are down. So like
okay.
collectibles and auto parts. They
Hmm.
said that it's not to a concerning level yet, but they are steadily decreasing in those sales, even though
Hmm.
they're pumping a ton of money into the automotive part.
Okay. Yeah, do
But
you
yeah,
see, like, long-term vision, I guess, with it? Couple years down the road with Whatnot and other platforms, do you think that they would take away a lot of the market share? Like, do you just see eBay being maybe not the champion it has been with just all the new platforms coming?
yeah, I don't think eBay's worried about Whatnot whatsoever. I don't think they're worried about Poshmark. Like they're aware of them. They're in the rear view mirror. Like they can see them playing around, but like they're not super interested about being knocked off by them. What they're
Mhm.
what they're really concerned about is actually overseas competitors like Timu, Timu, however you pronounce
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But they talked a lot about the UK and Germany specifically. They're
Mhm.
really, really, really focusing on international sales, and they. I've heard I don't know if this is like a true rumor or if it's just anecdote from Australians, but the average Australian says that eBay is bigger than Amazon. And
Hmm.
I think like when someone's like, "Oh, I wonder if I want to get this new product." Oh, look for it on eBay. Like we
Mm.
say, "Oh yeah, search on Amazon." They say
Right.
search on eBay. I'm not sure if that's just anecdote from a few Australians or if it's like actually that, but I think eBay wants to become that in Europe. I think eBay sees an opportunity to where they can become like the Amazon in those areas. Bo, Bo with the internet issues again. But yeah, I'm no economic.
Uh,
I'm no. There you go. You're back.
yeah, yeah.
I'm no
Uh,
economist and I'm no
mhm.
prophet, but I don't see eBay declining in revenue sharply in the next 5 or 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. I was just curious
Mhm.
because the Temu thing or Temu, however you say it, is interesting
Uh,
because they're paying like so much to advertise some billionaire in China,
they
but they
they
don't
reach out
sell.
to me all the time on
Yeah,
email.
and they're doing it through the influencer marketing.
Uh-huh.
Most companies are, but they don't make like nothing like on
Mhm.
any of the products, and they're not. The products aren't good at all. So,
Yeah, right too.
yeah, awesome. Well, that's good to get your thoughts. If you guys have any questions for Jake, you could drop them in the comments. I just want to acknowledge everyone here. Bobby, good to see you, Bobby from Northeast Ohio. Hope you're still here and doing
And we
well.
can go as long as we need to. If people got
Okay.
questions, we can
Cool,
answer them.
cool. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Biscuit Butt, what's going on? Jake
Archie,
spitting controversy. Yeah, a lot of controversial
yeah.
questions. I'm sorry I set you
No,
up
you're good.
a
I
little
love
bit.
it. I love it. I do.
Yeah, creates for good engagement, right? Caleb sells. What's going on, Caleb? Two of my favorites. Looking forward to this. Hope you're doing well. Uh, Tony, thanks guys for your help. Appreciate you, Tony. Good to see you. Is that Lemoncello LaCroix? I was enjoying those when they were on sale at Costco. I need a sponsor. Yes, soon. I should reach out to them. Do some Amazon reviews too. But yes, you're right. Gotta bring in the carbonated water. Uh, do you drink LaCroix?
No, I drink
You
water
drink
and monsters.
in Poppy.
And poppy. Poppy's good too.
Terry, what's going on? Just sold a pair of Tacova jeans for 49 plus $10 shipping. Beautiful. I love
Good
it.
stuff.
On eBay? That's awesome. Wolfman's goodies. What's
Awful
going on?
service.
Fitchy Fitch hearts. Good to see you, Fitchy. Caleb says Amazon takes a different mindset. I did well on Amazon, but it was too high risk to make the income I desired based on my personal finances and having a young family. Extremely cool platform, though. Yes. So the cost to get into
Yeah.
Amazon may be just a little bit higher than what most people are willing to spend.
And then even when you're there, my profit margins on eBay are between 50 and 60%, and then my
Mm-hmm.
profit margins on Amazon are between 25 and 35. So,
Mm-hmm.
so if I make $10,000 on eBay, I take home 55, 100, 6,000.
Right.
If
Right.
I make 10,000 on Amazon, I bring home three grand.
Right. Do you use any apps to help on Amazon? Like when you're scanning stuff or
Mhm. Yeah, I have Seller Amp and I have Keepa.
Mm. Yep.
But I've actually noticed, and I may make a video about this if I ever get into Amazon creation. I've
Mhm.
noticed that the eBay app is better. Like looking things up on eBay. If something has like a 60% plus sell rate on eBay, then it's gonna sell on Amazon. So
Oh, good to know.
and
Yeah.
I'm actually finding that a lot of people have this stigma that like things sell for less on eBay than they do on Amazon. And that is true for a lot of items, but it's
Mhm.
not over a category. Like I've sold a few Blu-rays on eBay for more than they would have gone for on Amazon, which was pretty wild.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I love Amazon, but yeah, it's totally different. I mean, if you guys mostly everyone's on eBay here, but yeah, it's totally different. I mean,
Yeah.
you can have a $10,000 month and only make, 2,500, which is still
Mhm.
great,
Yeah.
but you're moving a lot more volume. Good to see you, Director. Mrs. Director, what's going on? Hopefully you're still here. She said, I agree. Maybe to one of those conspiracies. No conspiracy here. I own my stuff. Laugh out loud. I don't do the work. I don't get the sales. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just in the culture of today, just to be like, set it, forget it. Amazon's eBay's easy. You gotta do the work. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
guys. Like, if you don't want to do the work, just stay at the 9 to 5 job. At least you could clock out. But there's time on eBay or on Amazon where you're working more than you would at a typical job.
I
So,
have a goal. I have a goal to talk about this more in my videos. I worked 100 hours a week for the first 6 months of eBay. Like
mhm,
it was brutal. Like it was, and I was getting married. I got engaged, and then I started my eBay business 3 weeks later.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, I need to make X amount of money before I get married through this. And so I just went to work. It
Yeah.
was rough.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was not it wasn't good for my mental health. And I don't have really any mental health issues. It was all good, but like I was fried. I was fried.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think if you do that, you know that this is just a season because
Yeah,
otherwise you're gonna go crazy.
exactly.
Like, it's not forever, guys. It's a season, and I'm sure a lot of the time too is spent on learning, especially
Yeah,
when you're just starting. You're either listening to stuff in the background because if you don't learn, then you don't know what to do. It's like saying to someone, "Hey, go cook up some hamburgers for me," and they've never spent any time doing that. The first few are going to be terrible. So you at least got to go learn first so you can at least be more efficient with your time. Um, yeah, I mean, nothing beats hard work, but also working like efficiently and skillfully.
hmm
Like
work
tie all
smarter
those
and harder.
because slaves work hard.
Yeah,
I mean, labor work is hard, but it's also you got to use your mind too.
Alex
To get
Hormozy. Nice.
yes, yes. Um, so yeah, that was good points there. Clover Rock says if you made that, it would be very informative. Okay, he was talking about your credit score eBay video,
Yeah,
which kind of is. I mean, that puts a lot of. That's a good like metaphor,
yeah,
to help people wrap their mind around that. Because I think a lot of people think they're shadow banned or, eBay will never give me more than 5 sales a day, and that's just how it is. Uh, I think there's more to it. Edgar says, "Thank you, Scott. What's going on, Scott? Love the tips. I picked up a Braun mixer today after work. Looks like it sells for 150. Paid $5. Would have never thought it had value if it wasn't for your videos."
nice.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about. I think that this is one of the more fulfilling parts of creating content is the people that you're helping, even the
Yeah,
people that you don't interact with or don't even leave comments. There's people that are changing their lives through reselling, whether it's part-time, on the side, going full-time. And when you're dead and gone, what are people going to remember you by? The people that you helped, and I think that's way more important, in my opinion, to just
hmm
help people. Because they say, oh, don't give away your trade secrets. It's like, I don't think there's such thing as secrets anymore.
no.
Like, you can look up anything. It's YouTube. That's good, Scott. That's awesome. Kathleen, hey folks, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Appreciate you, Kathleen. Cha-ching King in the house. How's those storage units going? Long time no talk. Good to see you. My credit limit on eBay is 2 billion listings. They give me more credit than I deserve. Scott says Jay Ride knows his kitchen appliances and has really helped me.
Kitchen appliances are underrated.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Ching King gifted 5 Bo Johnson memberships. Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. Sweet. Thank you. Kathleen says eBay in Australia is much larger than Amazon. Number one seller of CDs in Australia is on eBay, not Amazon. Same thing for
Yep.
books. For
That's what
book.
I've heard. That is what I've heard.
Wow. Interesting. We'll have to bring Mel back from Burnout on here to confirm. Cha-ching King, welcome. So Scott says also grabbed an LGRC897T after work. Let's see if J Ride recognizes that model number.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
Samsung remote.
yeah, awesome.
Yep.
I love that. I love that you
No, I mean not
got that.
it's an LG. LG and Samsung are like the same in my head. But no, I know I can see the shape of it. It's like it's shaped like this. Yeah.
Nice. So if you
I
see
think I'm
that
right. Wait, go back. Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure I can see that in my head.
LGRC 897T. Yeah, remotes are so, I mean, God, who would have ever thought you could make pretty good money reselling remotes? And then like the more rare,
Oh
the
no,
more
this is
rare.
this is a DVD VCR recorder. Yeah, that's nice. That goes for about 250, 300
That's
bucks.
amazing.
Uh-huh.
Pretty nice. Caleb asks, what 3 brands have you sold the most amount of times?
My top 3 are Dyson, Bose, and probably Sony.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. I would say for clothing,
I mean,
Levi's, American Eagle. Those are the 2 that I can name.
I'm really excited to have Caleb on my podcast sometime, because we were both at the same time. We both had like similar businesses of, I sold a ton of everything, mostly electronics, with a really good amount of clothing. And then
Yeah.
he had a similar store of selling a lot of everything, but a little bit more focus in clothing. And then I
Mm,
moved away from clothing and into electronics and appliances.
mhm.
And then he moved away from electronics and appliances into clothing. So I think that would be
Yeah.
a really awesome podcast to talk about that.
Yeah, Caleb, has a great journey, and when you said the sell-through rate thing, I mean, he has a great business model. I think he has,
Yeah.
like, 1,800 items listed, but he's got, like, 1,800 sold.
Yep.
So, you don't need a ton of items, guys, to make great money on eBay. You know, if you put more money on the front end, which I neglected over the last year and a half, you don't need to have a 10,000 item store to make 6 figures, or at
Yeah.
least do
No,
6
you
figures.
definitely do not. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, it's cool to see over the years how people's business turns out. Um, so that's good. Scott says, "Oh, it's a LG DVD VHS combo. Cool, very impressive." Shirley says, "Hey Jay Ride, still trying to find a stopper for my Cuisinart coffee machine.
Shoot.
Do you have one?"
If that specific one isn't on eBay, I don't know what to tell you. Is it the Cuisinart Prep 11? If you want to put it in the comments, I'm pretty sure I'll find it one day that I can send it to you.
Nice. Terry says, "I have sold 4 DVD VCR combos because of Jay Ride's advice."
I was
Yeah.
told that those were dead, and I don't know what people are talking about. Like, people, it's just like, oh, DVD VCR combo players don't sell anymore. It's like, really? Because they still have 160% sell through rate. So
What's the top brand to pick up when you see one of those? Panasonic or
Panasonic's okay. Magnavox is the best. So I have
Magnavox?
one right here. So this will sell in under 7 minutes when I list it. This is the Magnavox DVD VCR combo recorder. So it
Recorder. Okay.
records. Yep. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
this will go extremely fast, but I'm trying to hold off on that because that sells for about $110 on eBay, but it sells for $540 on Amazon. So I'm trying to get ungated in Magnavox because the reason why it sells so quickly in under 7 minutes is because guys are buying it off of eBay and then selling it on Amazon.
There you go.
Very, very profitably. So that's what I'm trying to get to. But Magnavox is hard to get ungated in for some reason.
Yeah. Gotta order 10 remotes from their website
Yep.
or whatever's the cheapest.
I already did that. Didn't work, but I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah. They say there's this guy like for Nike had to resubmit like 14 times just to get ungated. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's it's good that they do that because then everyone would sell on Amazon, right? Because so many people give up after the first attempt. They're just like, I'm not gonna do this. It's hard. A lot of the comments on Amazon videos are like, I tried this, I'm done. I'm over
Yeah.
it. It's like, don't give up. You just give up after the first try. I mean, it's good and a bad thing, but yeah.
If you make beginner YouTube content for eBay, you get more views than if you make intermediate or advanced.
Mhm.
But it is significantly more drastic on Amazon. Like Amazon, if you make a beginner's guide to how to sell on Amazon, that can get 2.5 million views. But then if you make a much more niche, like how to talk to a wholesale supplier to get from 30K revenue to 100K revenue per month,
Mhm.
that'll get 7,000 views
Mhm.
because no one, like, the barriers of entry on Amazon are so high. Everyone thinks that it's like, oh, I'm going to sell on Amazon, and then they buy all their product and they can't list it, and then they say, oh, how do you get ungated? And then they see that you have to actually talk to someone on the phone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm out. You know,
Yeah.
I have to call a
Yeah.
supplier and I have to invest like $1,000 just to be able to get ungated in something that I only found 2 of their products. That's not work.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, different business. Scott says first neighborhood sale of the year this weekend, 50 plus homes. Do you guys have a strategy of which houses to hit first, or how do you usually plan for those?
Get there first. Be the first person there. And my advice has actually changed a little bit over the last few months. So I was the get to yard sell 5 as soon as you can and then slow down, just like blitz through the first 5. But I'm actually noticing that like I spend, because I'm already fast when it comes to yard sales. Like when I go yard selling with other influencers, I'm like, all right, let's go. Um, but I've noticed that like the first 3 yards, you're gonna get more in the first yard sale, second yard sale, and third yard sale than you're gonna get in the next 8. So I would actually say just try to be the first person to 3 or 4 of the yard sales and take your time in them. And then you can speed up after that because it'll already be picked through. But
Yeah.
really try to get like $1,000 in product in the first 3 yard sales if possible. Very difficult, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the goal.
Do you, for your business model, are you, I mean, I'm sure it's seasonal, but are you doing more yard sales now than thrift store or just a combination still?
Yeah, I go thrifting every single day, and then I go yard selling every single week
Okay, cool.
when
Good.
people are out.
Uh, Mama Hype wants to know your store.
That's a secret. No, I'm just kidding. It's 21 J Ride.
Nice.
Yep, 21 J Ride.
Terry says they are not dead. They sell within days, especially with HDMI inputs.
I
Okay,
heard
yeah.
that from a few different people. Boom, HDMI.
Oh, nice. Back
I
then,
heard
that was
that
high
from like
tech.
a few different people. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe people like don't know how to actually look things up correctly on eBay. Because if you type in DVD VCR combo player, there's probably like 18,000 listed and only like 9,000 sold, which is still a decent sell-through rate. But if you
Hmm.
type in Magnavox ZG976R, there's going to be 14 listed and 397 sold.
That's
That's
crazy. Yeah, that's amazing. So Shirley got back to you about that
CHW12.
uh model number. Huh.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
keep a lookout.
Cool. Well, I guess parting advice for people, what is like one thing you can maybe recommend to people that might be just struggling with sales right now? Give them a shot of hope or a glimpse into the future of what they can do to grow their business.
My favorite business advice, reselling advice, financial advice is reverse engineer everything. So understand how much your bills are and how much you actually want to make. So if
Mm-hmm.
you want to make $10,000 a month, you can mathematically do that. I have a few videos on how to do that, but if you can just understand, if you can like that's one of the main reason why I stick to sell-through rate is because things sell faster. But another reason why I stick to sell-through rate is because you can very accurately predict how many items you're going to sell today, this week, this month. If you have like a 20% sell-through rate item, it might sell tomorrow, or it might sell in 16 months, or it might sell in 38 months. But if you have a 100% sell-through rate item and you list 1,000 of those, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get at least 800 sales every 90 days. And it's awesome. And then you just divide that by how many weeks or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are struggling, it's just amazing to sit down and don't do it on your phone, do it on a pen and paper and say, I want to make $10,000 a month. Then go to your seller hub, see what your average sales price is. If your average sales price is $38, divide 10,000 by 38 and then divide that number by 30.4 because that's the average amount of days in the month. You can do 30 or 31 if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then say, okay, I need to make $387 a day to hit my goal, and I'm selling items for $36. So that means I need to sell 10.2 items per day. Hold up, that's only revenue. That's not what I'm taking home. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's see what all my other numbers are. Let's see what my actual profit per item is. Because you're going to sell things that only make $6 profit, and you're going to sell things that make $140 profit. But you
Right.
can literally find your average and be like, oh, my average profit is $23. So now I'm just going to plug those numbers in. Just work backwards, and you'll learn very quickly how many items you need to sell, how many items you need to list, and how long you need to look to find those items.
Yeah. Reverse engineering most things is going to give you a lot of comfort and less stress because then you can know and track what do I need to do today to get me to that 10,000. I need to list X amount of items that are going to be worth this amount of money that sell in this time frame. It's going to bring the how to the business. It's going
And
to
then
bring
just keep adapting. Don't fall in love with, okay, sweet, now I know that I need to list 22 items per day to make $10,000 a month. So I'm going to list 22 items per day every single day, no matter what. And I'm going to sacrifice sell-through rate to get there. Then you get to that magical number and you're like, wait, I'm only doing $6,400. I thought I'd be at 10,000. And that's because you sacrificed the sell-through rate and the quality of the items. So
right.
you have to, part of reverse engineering, what you're doing is understanding what your skills and limitations are and what you can actually find in your area and with your skill set. And so sometimes you have to take a look in the mirror and be like, I am not skilled enough to make $10,000 a month yet. I have the skills to make 6,000. What can I reverse engineer and what can I do better to make an extra $4,000? And it might take me a year to get there, but what do I have to work on? Okay, I need to get better at sourcing. I need to get better at leaving the wrong things behind. I need to get better at waking up at the same time every morning. I need to get better at doing this at this time. I need to be better at working at a desk instead of on a couch where I start watching Breaking Bad. And there's just some, like, I don't know. I don't want to like keep. I just don't. I understand that it's really hard and that my area is better than the average person's area, and there's people that have even better areas than I do, but that really matters significantly less than your skill. And it sucks to hear that, and you might be in the bottom 40%, but you can get to the top 5%. It's on you. And it sucks to tell people that, and it sucks to hear that, but I understand that some areas are really hard to get products, but it's not your area, it's you, and you can find those products in this age. If it was 1947, you might have that excuse. But in 2024, I'm sorry, you don't have those excuses anymore.
100%. Don't give up. That's what
Yes.
I always keep reminding myself because for me in my area, there's no excuse. I may live in the middle of nowhere, but I'm an hour from a million plus population city. There's no excuse for me. I can never say I can't find product. I can never say that because I have how many thrift stores? There's no excuse. It's only my fault. So I just say never give up, guys. Be diligent in your learning. Follow people like Jay Ride, and I have his channel link below. You guys can subscribe, check out his content, but just watch people that are doing it on a big level, and then repeat the process.
Don't
And
be
don't
afraid to
be
copy.
yeah, repeat the process, learn, take tips, nuggets, and apply them, and you'd be surprised on how far you could get as a reseller, especially for people that are just settled at their 9 to 5. If you want to do this, you can do it. And the barrier to entry is like the most people give up after the first thrift store. If you just don't have that mindset, you will outcompete most people. So, I mean, I can't go to one thrift store and be successful. I got to hit 8, 10
Yeah.
just to find the amount I need. Scott says being humble and honest with yourself is so important. I see a lot of people try to get top dollar for the items instead of pricing their items competitively, and they become hoarders. Yeah, that's why hoarders exist. The show. There was a lady on a show specifically says, "I'm going to sell that on eBay," and the house is literally full with board games, cheese graters, bowling balls, and it's like, don't be that person. Sell the items. We're not in the storage business. Thrifty, what are your thoughts on relisting? Like
Are you
ending
talking
and
about
relisting?
delist, relist, and
Yeah,
end and sell somewhere? So again, this is
that's a
gonna
good.
annoy some people, but if you have fast sell-through rate items, you'll never have to think about this ever again because your items will
Yeah,
just keep selling.
yeah.
Now, there are very successful business models that have under a 50% sell-through rate. Like, again, I'm talking. J-Ride Flips is a channel for beginners or
Mhm.
people that are going from beginner to intermediate. I'm not talking to the guys that have 60,000 items in their store and they make $60,000 a month. because they have a slow sell-through rate, but they have so many items that like it. But yeah, a little too jumbled there. But
Mhm.
if you just, and you don't have to have 100% sell-through rate items, but I promise you, if you do your numbers and you have a 40% sell-through rate, if you better yourself and you better your promises, I promise wherever you are, you can get it to 50%. Maybe you absolutely can't get it to 100% or 80% with your current skill set, but you can get it to 50%, and then you can get it to 60, and then you can get it to 100. But if you have 280,000 listings with Legos and you're making $3,800 a day, don't listen to me. Like I'm not talking crap on that store whatsoever. I have a friend that does that.
Mhm.
Keep doing that. But I talk to people who are just barely starting or have been doing this for under 3 years. And I'm talking to people that have been doing this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years that just aren't making very much money. It's you. It's not eBay. It's you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you come across it in most industries, in real estate too,
Every single
but
industry.
on eBay, I've been doing this 28 years.
Uh-huh.
What should I take your experience or advice? And it's like, well, maybe you've just done 28 years wrong,
Mhm.
like incorrectly.
Or maybe you
Uh,
did 14 years, perfect, and
yeah,
then
and
the
then
cycle changed, and what
yeah,
you did 14 years ago does not work today. And maybe it still works a little bit today, but you could 7x if you just made some changes.
innovation. Yeah, I mean, Bravado says I just relisted some items and they sold. So there you go. Mama Hype says Tekken Sports, TNS Tekken Sports would say do it right the first time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Better to do it right the first time and it takes longer than to do things half, way and you have a bunch of junk. Scott says I live in central Midwest and can ship an item to California and Florida for roughly the same price. What are your thoughts on location for being competitive with shipping rates? So there you go.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's just like that's a that's just a small advantage that you're blessed with. But there's someone in California who has a harder time that is still crushing. So like you use that to your advantage for sure.
Mm,
But if I were you, I would just do calculated shipping, and you're going to be able to reach the biggest audience with the best price because you're right in the middle.
yeah. Beautiful. And if people want to contact you and maybe just ask you a question, I know you're everywhere, but
Mhm.
how can people actually send you a message? And
So I have 1147 unread messages on Facebook, so don't go there. I only have like 3 unread on Instagram, so it's easier to hit me on Instagram. And then the best way is email me at jrideflips@gmail.com. And I have a goal to. I'm I have more money and more time. I am increasing in my wealth, and I
That's
have
beautiful.
more. I have a little bit more time to answer questions. So that's my goal for the next several months is to answer 4 times the questions that I used to. So
Yeah.
ask me questions, guys. I
No, yeah.
I hope that I can stick to that goal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, everyone, send him a message today, and we'll test that to the limit. Appreciate your time, man. This is great. This is the second time on the channel. Things have changed, drastically with your channel as well, which is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. Love to have you on maybe towards the end of the year, see where you're at. Maybe give some more thoughts on what's going on eBay. And for anyone watching the replay, comments, questions, I will reply. Just leave them down below. Hopefully, it wasn't too controversial for people watching, but hey, we appreciate y'all. Have a blessed weekend, and we'll catch you on Monday's video. Take care, buddy.